Hello, friends, and welcome back to episode number 43, Stop Overworking and Start Overflowing, with Kristi H. Sullivan. In this episode, Kristi and I discuss how to create better wellness and live your best life, how to know when you're out of alignment, using your inner GPS to choose the right opportunities for you, generating greater abundance in all aspects of your life, living in sync with who you are. Now, today is American Thanksgiving, and I am thankful for you. Thank you so much for being here, for your support of the podcast, and for taking the time out to spend a few minutes with me. I hope you, your friends, and your family have a beautiful day, no matter where you are in the world or what you're celebrating. Thank you for being here. Thank you for being part of the podcast community. And thank you for being you. Are you frustrated with shopping and feel there must be a better way? Then I invite you to try out Style Finder Boutique. My husband Jim and I, aka Big Daddy, opened Style Finder in 2015 to bring women just like you the best in upscale casual clothing that's perfect for work, the weekend, and everything in between. We offer 3 easy ways to shop. You can shop with us 24/7 at shopstylefinder.com, or you can download the Style Finder Boutique app for both iPhone and Android. Be sure you turn notifications on so you know when we go live. You'll not only find a selection of amazing clothing, but we offer tools and resources to ensure you get clothing that's right for you. From our Shop the Look videos that offer styling suggestions, to fit videos and measurements that help you determine if something will fit your shape, we bring the best of online shopping to your laptop or mobile device. Use code PODCASTLOVE to save 20% on your first order online or on the app. If you're in Raleigh, North Carolina, then I invite you to visit our brick and mortar location. We're in North Hills Shopping Center, and our team of stylists are here to assist you in curating the perfect outfit, selecting the perfect gift, or building a whole new wardrobe. Who knows, I might be in the boutique myself to personally help style you. We help you know what to wear and how to wear it so you can feel confident and beautiful every single day. Let us be your style's secret weapon so you can dress like you mean it. Welcome to Style by Mary Michelle, a podcast designed to empower you through personal style. I'm your host, Mary Michelle Nidifer, a master style coach, founder of Style Finder Boutique, and creator of the Style Finder ID system. I'm here to help you know what to wear, how to wear it, and how to get dressed in 7 minutes or less. Let's go. I am so excited to share my guest with you today. I've got Kristi H. Sullivan here. She is from Connecticut. Is that right? And that's right. She is a human design and self-care expert. She's also an author, speaker, and she is on a mission to help busy women stop overworking and start overflowing. She hosts a virtual community for female personal development junkies like herself, and I could say myself too, to create better wellness, improve relationships, shift mindsets, and manifest more success, wealth, and freedom, and to live their life by design. Love it. Kristi is an international speaker, workshop and retreat teacher, and lead author of a new best-selling Amazon book called Stop Overworking and Start Overflowing, 25 Ways to Transform Your Life Using Human Design, which this actually came out just this month in October of 2021. Kristi is also co-author of 3 best-selling books written and published on Amazon during the pandemic: The Ultimate Guide to Self-Healing, The Great Pause, Blessings and Wisdom from COVID-19, and The Transformation 2020. This all sound fabulous. And the fact that you wrote 3 books during the pandemic, you go, girl.
Well, I will say they're all collaborative books. So I was one of a number of authors, and I love those style of books.
That is awesome. To connect with Kristi, I've got her website here. It's kristihsullivan.com, which we will be sure to put all of her links in the show notes. Kristi, welcome. I am so excited. I think we have a treat in store for everybody today.
Thank you so much, Michelle. Thanks for hosting me and inviting me to be in this sandbox with you.
Yay. Yay. So tell me a little bit about yourself, Kristi. How did you get into what you do now?
Sure. A few years ago, now 6-7 years ago, I was working in a full-time career and was doing wellness activities on the side, like teaching yoga. And I had another side business and doing personal development. Like my bio said, I was always interested in sort of understanding more about myself. And a friend of mine was hosting a coaching program for about a year. I worked with her in a small group, and she taught us the basis of human design, which is a personal development tool. It's different than a personality assessment. It's based on your birth date, and it helped me understand myself in a much deeper way, and help me understand why some of the things that I was doing in my side job, as well as other parts of my life, weren't really flowing well. And that was because my energy type that I am was trying to operate a different way than what's really natural for my energy system. And we can get into that. But I just had this great appreciation for what I was being taught and wanted to put it into practice. And then about a year ago, I actually stepped away from the career that I had and moved full-time into personal development and just started teaching human design, because I don't find there's a lot of practitioners out there very easily. It's sort of like how yoga was at one time. Like there were a little bit of yoga studios here and there. And I think I just wanted to share and help others understand what human design is so that they could shift their life like I did.
Absolutely. I don't know a whole lot about human design. I'm learning a little bit, and I'm excited to learn more from you. But one thing that kind of stood out to me is that human design was described in something that I read as almost like astrology on steroids, like astrology, but a whole new 3D dimension of it. So Tell us more. Tell me more about human design and what exactly we would learn from that and how it can help others.
Yeah, it is. I say that to myself, that it's sort of on steroids. It's like astrology because it is based on your birth date, and that information is really what creates your chart, like an astrology chart. But there's many other layers. And the reason is the human design system, which evolved in the 80s, brought together some ancient tools like astrology, Kabbalah, I Ching, chakras. And those together created this tool. And again, based on your birth date. So when you run your chart, you can do it for free online. You will see this kind of picture of a body with different energy centers that is your unique blueprint. And there's actually 2 billion combinations. It's kind of amazing. There's a lot to understand about it. So it's always helpful, in my opinion, to talk with somebody, work with somebody one-on-one to get either a reading or take some program of theirs to understand your chart. And it's deeper than astrology in the sense that it's not just what are the planetary alignments, but really who you are underneath the surface, who you were born to be in this world in terms of your energetic being.
Mm-hmm. Wow. That sounds powerful. I think, self-awareness is so powerful, understanding as much as we can about ourselves. Now, Kristi, tell me more about, when you work with your clients to help them understand this. I know you mentioned that you were operating in a place that was out of alignment with how you're wired, I guess. Is that a good way to put it?
Yeah, I have an analogy about the car. So we're all driving a car model, and think of that as your astrology sign. We all fit into maybe a certain astrology box. Like I'm a Libra, and when you look inside the car and under the hood, we may look different from the other car models that in that similar category. So with human design, where you start is you understand sort of what category you're in, but then you start to look at that wiring of what makes you unique. And so this blueprint is, again, unique. And you may share some things with other people who have similar aspects in their chart, but then there's different things. And so what happened for me was I came to recognize, for example, the way that I make decisions in my body and how that was unique to me. And the way that I could be productive on a daily basis. And that's how the name of the book, Stop Overworking and Start Overflowing, came, because what I found, and I'm in a category called generators, which are about 70% of the population, we're all operating or trying to operate as a different type, like square peg in a round hole. And we're trying to do things a certain way that's really a fit for another energy type. And so I started to make choices and operate differently. So then there seemed to be more flow, more things coming to me or aligning up for me in my life. And about a year ago, when I started this business, it certainly grew out of me responding to opportunities that were right for me. And that's what's important for a generator, for example. So I started just doing things differently, and there was definitely more flow.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Absolutely. So now when you work with your clients, do they generally come to you? I know your book is called Stop Overworking, Start Overflowing. I mean, is that kind of the essence of what you teach your clients?
Yeah. And you mentioned earlier, what do I do with my clients? I start with a reading. I help them understand their chart. We talk about the different aspects and what it means. Mm-hmm. And one of the important things to know and be aware of is that we're conditioned through our family and school and marketing and a lot of external entities. We're conditioned and programmed to do things a certain way in life. And when you look at like a personality assessment, it is based on, the impact that of your environment and family as well. With human design, you get to understand what really was programmed versus what's natural. Mm-hmm. And so I help clients understand that and then start to make maybe some different choices. Like maybe some types need more downtime through their day, and they can't really work a 9-to-5 job without draining their energy and feeling overwhelmed or burned out. Yes. So with clients, I help give them also that support to understand what can you do on a daily basis, what self-care is important for your energy type. And with that information, they can start to make shifts in their lives.
Absolutely. I think as women in general, self-care is so important. But I know from my own perspective, I'm highly sensitive, and I have, dealt with some adrenal fatigue over the past few years. And so self-care becomes even more critical just to be able to function on a daily basis. And, some days that looks like a nap. Some days it looks like getting a massage. Some days it looks like, going and having fun with a girlfriend. So, yeah. So tell me more about how you coach your client, or the work you do with your clients as far as like self-care. What are some of your best recommendations for caring for ourselves?
Well, self-care is also so important to me because I have a background in teaching yoga. And a few years ago, I went through some things in my life where taking care of my father with Alzheimer's and a crisis in my marriage and then a job change, I just knew I needed the support to take care of myself, not just from a health standpoint, but from that inner wellness of what were my limiting beliefs? What were some traumas or wounds that I needed to heal? Mm-hmm. And as you know, that affects our energy. So to me, self-care, first of all, is very personalized, like you said, and it can look different day to day for some people. Yeah. Some people like the routine and some people want variety, but it also is really what nurtures you individually. So what works for me may not be the same for you. So I will coach clients and our group on, what are you doing? Are you doing things on a daily basis? Are you maybe tracking what you're doing? Because a lot of times we actually are doing more self-care than we think that we are. But also, are you doing a deeper level of self-care? Like, are you taking the time to do that inner reflection, that inner healing, if you need to do that?
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Yeah, we certainly do need reminders. And I think you're right. And so many things that we do in our lives, we don't really acknowledge it. But when we stop and think, oh yeah, I am doing that, then we can give ourselves a pat on the back and feel a little bit more, just a little bit more like it is inherent in what we're doing. It's becoming second nature.
Yeah. And even with the human design information, it helps people validate some things that they're doing that do work for them. And then when we are finding things that work for us, that feel good, we'll then do more of that, or want to do more things that keep us in that flow, I call it. Because again, there may be times that you feel stuck, or you don't feel like you're unsure of things. And maybe that's the best time to slow down, do the self-care, step away from things like working or overworking, get into your body, clear some energy. And so there's a lot of ways to do that. And what I believe is that we all just need support. We need ideas from other people, or know what worked for them, to see if that could work for us. And that support in this day and age is really important.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I think sometimes as women, or, men too, we feel stuck, but we just want to push through. If I just keep going a little bit more. But I actually saw a video on TikTok this morning, and she was talking about how this woman was talking about how she had lost her creativity. And she's like, is it here? Is it here? And then she's like, oh yeah, I just need to, step away from everything and have a change of scenery and get out in nature. And there's my creativity right there. So I think instead of just pushing through, we just need to say, okay, you know what? I'm going to go take a nap for a few minutes, or go outside, or go for a walk, or call a friend, or just something. But we definitely need support to do that self-care, don't we?
Yes. And what I also found through the human design teaching that I've done is that whatever energy type you are, I believe in this day and age, we all need to slow down. Mm-hmm. Some need even more rest. And I call it that car battery that we have. Some energy types have a large car battery, and some have a small car battery. And when you've got the small battery, you need to recharge even through the day. Yes. You can get heated. That can affect certainly your health. And then if you have a large car battery, again, how are you using it? If your energy is all over the place, if you're rushing and trying to keep up and just doing things that don't feel right in alignment for you, then even with that car battery, or that energy of like, you can work and do things, you just need to slow down to check in and see really what needs to be adjusted.
Yes. One thing that's occurred to me, I feel like, with COVID, everything kind of stopped, right? And everybody was great. I think there was so much gratitude for having the time and having the space to just be, and not, to get out of the chaos and the rat race, and really kind of reevaluate our priorities. But, one thing that I've found, I've had to kind of check myself a few times, but I've also found with a lot of friends and other women that it almost seems like we've gotten easily sucked back into that just frantic, always busy, always. And I think part of it from my perspective is, I'm so excited to just get back in, and I'm saying yes to all these things that I wouldn't normally say yes to, just because I want to, get out and be around people. And it's nice. But have you found that with many people, a lot of people are just diving headfirst back into the same busy routine that they had pre-COVID?
I think there's definitely a mix. And one of the books that you mentioned in my Bible, The Great Pause, which is what are those lessons from COVID during that pause that we were all sort of forced to take. And I know that there are women who are doing this inner work and really questioning, what am I going to put my energy towards? Maybe I'm not going to say yes to everything. What's ironic is we're in the month of November now, and it's I saw a great meme that said, "It's November." Practice saying no, right?
Yes.
Time of year too, where we want to kind of go into a little more hibernation with the cold, if you're in a cold climate. But there's things that we might want to do to, again, slow down and not go full throttle, because what might happen is you'll, again, quickly either burn out or feel out of alignment. Those are usually the signs that, again, to slow down. And I do find some people maybe are traveling more, which can be great, but do it in a way that just serves you. And again, it's different for everyone.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. Well, Kristi, I know you asked me some questions before we got on here, and you mentioned that you would want to kind of share with us the human design philosophy, kind of using me as your guinea pig.
Yeah. Doing this, this sort of like the hot seat you're on.
Yes. So tell me more.
So I ran your chart, Michelle, and you're a generator like I am. And again, about 70% are either a generator or subcategory called manifesting generator. Okay. And we really are here to do work. We've got that large car battery that I talked about. We're here to do work, but the right kind of work. And one of the important strategies for generators to follow is actually, and here's that pause word, but wait to respond, meaning slow down, noticing opportunities that are around you, and then choose wisely. What are the right opportunities for you? And in human design, at least when I work with my clients, I help them understand, again, that inner decision-making capability, or GPS, that they have. That's actually the emotional solar plexus center. So for you, you have natural highs and lows in your emotions. And to make your best decisions would be to sleep on it. Wait 24 hours if you can. And people will say, well, sometimes I need to make a decision right away. And you can, but you can also tell someone, well, let me get back to you, or I need to check my calendar. And if you can wait 24 hours when you need to decide about opportunities, it can help you with not making the wrong choice, but wrong choice for you, and a choice you might regret. That any of that resonate for you? The generator, the emotional solar plexus?
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. I'm a highly sensitive person. So yeah. So emotions, I have learned to not let my emotions get the best of me. And I think the sleep on it absolutely resonates. And I've really kind of, I have to check myself sometimes and just back off and say, okay, let me just wait and see how things play out, and sleep on it and make a decision in the morning, or not react to something that's going on. Just kind of step back and take a pause. So absolutely. Absolutely.
And about 50% of the population actually have this natural emotional wave. And for you, maybe notice in your life that there are natural highs and lows, maybe throughout the day or during certain cycles through the month with the moon, perhaps, and maybe track that, because when you're feeling, especially in a lull or a low, that's actually when you're more creative. That's your creative sort of time to go maybe inward, and to take what feels like downtime to just sit and allow the creativity to bubble up.
Interesting.
And yeah. The other thing I'll share is because I got excited when I saw this, there's something in the human design chart called the profile, which is sort of how do you play out a character in this life? How does it show up when you look at your soul purpose and life purpose? And for both you and I, we have what's called the 4-6 profile, which is there are two aspects that I'm referring to. One is called the opportunist, where we like our networks, maybe networks of friends or resources. And certainly here with this podcast, I'm sure you've created a great network. And the other side is called the role model. And that's when you have 3 phases in your life. And as you approach the age between, let's say, 30 and 50, you do what's called sitting up on the roof and noticing what's happening, taking in life lessons and really just observing. And then you become this great role model for others in your second half of life. So if that
because I'm
resonates
in that second half now, but
yeah. Does that resonate for you?
It does. It does. I feel like, I don't know. It's like, I think something happens in my own, I can only speak to my own experience, but I've talked with quite a few other women, but I think once you hit 50, it's like, okay, it's like you're more wise. You're ready to really look at your life from a different perspective. And I see myself more as a role model. I'm starting to see myself more as a role model and a leader than I have in the past.
Yeah, and the role model profile that when we talk about it in human design, and again, this is all based on your birthday and the alignments of the planets when you were born. But that role model is more just being who you are and allowing for that energy to inspire others or to help others. They may be drawn to you, and you don't have to make things happen, but just by being, you can fit into that role model profile.
Wow. That's fascinating. That's very cool. Well, thank you so much for sharing that.
Yeah, and that was just a mini reading. So I'd love to do more. And I love meeting with clients. I do it over 2 sessions because there's a lot of just even the basic information to take in. For some people, that opens up a door for them, or I call it the rabbit hole, where they start wanting to learn more. And so it can be really fun. And actually, in the month of November, if you have a birthday, I'm giving a discount to anyone who's.
Oh, that's fabulous. So if you're born in November, call Kristi, get your reading. Now, how, let me see if I can ask this question the right way. How do you feel that the human design, like a human design reading, can really help someone in their life, in their career? What do you see for that?
So I'll give an example of someone who also is a generator, like our type, who had been working in her business to launch a program. She put all the pieces together. She made sure, her website and everything online was there. She started to market a webinar, and she put it out there, and maybe a few people came, but nobody bought into the program. She was operating in what's called a manifestor type energy, which we're all taught to do. So when I did the reading with her and told her she was a generator, and responding to opportunities was much different than initiating. It's a different flavor. Again, all of us are programmed to initiate, just do it in this world. So I told her for the next 2 weeks to take it easy, and maybe she came back to me and said that she actually let her husband cook for her, and she had some downtime and didn't work hard on promoting anything more for her business. And all of a sudden, as she slowed down, the opportunities came to her, because in a way, she was allowing that to happen in a much easier way. She got a phone call to actually do a training program. She got a few people who weren't even on her webinar contacting her about the program that she launched. And she felt so much different, a different way for her business to grow. And just hearing that and her success really is why I'm here. I want to help others to get that same insight.
That's really interesting. Yeah, I think so many of us, oftentimes I think it's just seeing things from different perspectives. And, I think knowing your human design can really help you to see that I'm exactly where I need to be, and to stop pushing when you just need to step back, have some self-care, and really regroup. But I think, that's powerful. That's powerful.
And that self-care piece is important, the slowing down and the validation and permission. Yes. And what I've often said is women especially, they need permission to give themselves permission.
Yes, we don't need permission, but I think we feel like we do. And, I think when it comes to style, that's true as well. So many women feel like, well, I can't dress well, or I can't spend money on myself, or I can't, well, why can't you? What do you desire? What do you really want? And I think a lot of women feel like they need permission to show up and to stand out and pursue their passions.
Yeah, to stand in their power and also just to be more authentically themselves. And I think that's what human design does, is help you understand your uniqueness.
Yes.
And show it through style. You can show it through your work.
How do you feel human design has helped you in your life?
Well, definitely in this last year, once I made this career change and I left my 20 plus year marketing career, and really stepped fully into my own endeavor. What happened was I didn't know what that was going to look like. And for me, the beginning of 2020, I had a friend who was in a book collaboration. And I noticed the book came out. I was excited for her. And then her publisher was looking for some additional authors for another volume. And I thought, wow, that really sounds fun. And I could feel like inside that just felt like it would be something fun to do. I wanted to talk about self-care and share something. And one chapter felt easy to write. So I pursued that opportunity, or I went after that opportunity that ended up coming to me. And the same thing started to happen one piece at a time with my business. And so here I am now a year later, and I've actually published a book with 25 other authors, and I've been the lead author on that and organizing it. And so it just seems amazing. Like those stepping stones just kind of showed up for me in the right way. And I said yes to those opportunities.
Right. I think, we spend so much time in our lives working against what we need to be doing and really understanding the flow and how to work with ourselves. That's powerful.
Yeah, because it's actually there. It's sort of how, if you believe in the universe, the power of the universe or higher power, it's here for us, this flow. But we often are trying to either control what we're doing or resist that flow. And it's how our life lessons show up, I guess, for us.
Why do you think we try to resist it so much?
Yeah, and I think part of it is programming. One of the things when I've worked with clients is to help them with energy clearing. And part of that is what we've been passed down through, even not just our immediate family, but from ancestors and our lineage. So it's sort of like we feel this like badge of honor or a badge, a family crest that we have to kind of wear. And when we realize we can be totally different and still connected to each other, I think that's when resistance can, we try that, we want that, we push into that resistance thinking we shouldn't do this, we shouldn't do that. And really when we allow, I think is just life blossoms, you have more connections, you feel more whole, and things for the most part are much more positive.
Yes. For sure. And that certainly creates a more peaceful life. And then, it's so amazing. It's like, you feel like, I know there have been phases in my life where it's like you're pushing. I'm like, you're trying too hard and you get down on yourself. And maybe, I am in an emotional lull and I feel like, well, I didn't realize that's when I'm most creative. Sometimes when I'm in a lull, I'm like, oh, something's wrong and things aren't moving. And we just feel like we always have to be moving forward, pushing all the time. So, I think really understanding that we get to have permission to step back and honor ourselves to go with that flow. Yeah. Because that's when the magic happens in the flow.
Right. Absolutely.
For sure. Kristi, is there anything else you'd like to share with us today about the work that you do and human design?
Well, I just love to mention the book that I launched with 25 other human design practitioners. And I know you'll put the link in the show notes, but the book is like a chicken soup for the soul book. So it's a book where you can open up to any chapter and read somebody's story about their understanding or getting to know human design, that aha moment where they thought, oh my gosh, this is life-changing. And then what they did with that tool, and then some tips and techniques for the reader to actually help them with their energy and their flow. And so the book is out, and it's just a great read. It's not technical. It's this nice, just feel good, inspirational book.
And that's Stop Overworking and Start Overflowing.
Yes. And
yes.
here's what it looks like. And it's on Amazon, or you can contact me through my website, and I'd love to send a signed copy if someone wants to buy it through me.
Yes. Now, Kristi, are you on Instagram or TikTok or?
Not yet. TikTok.
I'm on TikTok.
I'm Kristi H. Sullivan. I'm on Facebook. I have a Facebook group, facebook.com/groups/Kristi H. Sullivan. And then you mentioned the website too.
Yes. So I'll be sure and put all those links in our show notes. Please go connect with Kristi, reach out to her, especially if your birthday's in November. Take advantage of that November special. And I am so excited to hear all about this. Thank you so much, Kristi. You've shared some great information, and I hope all of our listeners will go out and follow you and reach out to learn more.
Sounds great. And thank you so much for having me, Michelle.
Absolutely. Thanks for tuning in to Style by Mary Michelle, where women come to get dressed in 7 minutes or less. If you enjoyed this podcast, I invite you to leave me a 5-star review on iTunes or wherever you're listening. Be sure to follow me on Instagram at Style by Mary Michelle, and shop our boutique at shopstylefinder.com for the best in upscale casual apparel. Better yet, if you're in the Raleigh area, come see us. We're located in the North Hills Shopping Center, the premier shopping district in Midtown Raleigh. For details and links mentioned in this episode, be sure to see the show notes. Have a beautiful week.